My name's Owen Morgan, and I sat down with my co-host Jessica Rose Johnson, and we talk all things movies through the power of top lists. Episode 75. We're kind of like, is there a term for it? 3/4 of the way through a century? I don't know, there's a term. But anyway, episode 75, which is pretty crazy. It'd be 100 before we know, Jess. This was amazing. But we wanted to really start thinking about more niche stuff. So today we're doing Sit on a Plane. We'll do stuff like Set at Sea. I'm thinking about one which is films with a title of just one syllable. You recommended Westerns, which I'm really excited for. We're going to be doing that. So yeah, there's plenty more for us to do. So Jess, yeah, it's how are you feeling about that? It's kind of like, I really enjoyed making this list because it's so specific, but really allows you to start comparing what makes a good film in that niche, you know?
Yeah, and it was fun too to remember movies I'd forgotten about. So looking up when it's this specific, being able to say, oh, hey, I remember that movie.
Yeah, it's kind of prepping us for the 90s, isn't it? Some of it was so 90s on these. I was like, oh, I'm ready because we're on year 2005, I think the next one is. Or four. So we're getting very close to the 90s. And I don't know about you, but I was watching, for example, not to read anything later, I was watching the Con Air trailer and went, oh my God, it's so 90s. The trailer, oh my God. It was so nostalgic. Slightly cringy, but really nostalgic. That Con Air trailer is out of this world. So does that make sense? Kind of like, it hits you different when it's that nostalgic.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I think it's a different vibe, a different feeling. And on top of that, I think we've talked about this before, where you are at your life in that time when you were connected to that movie. I think that also plays a role in how we view and remember and rank our movies as well.
Definitely. It's such a quotable movie. But anyway, we'll get into it as the show gets going. So we don't often have to do too much kind of like rules around our list, but this one needs a little bit of explanation. So it gets complicated. So we're saying set on a plane, but it doesn't mean the whole thing is on a plane, but the storyline needs to be based on a plane, as in not on it, but in and around it. For example, The Aviator is the making of a plane and the testing of a plane. Does that make sense? Top Gun, for example, it's fighter jets, not a commercial plane. So it's aviation. So we're talking plane, aviation, linked as a lead to a story-orientated film. Right, that's done. So don't come at us going, technically that is not. Look, if there's a bit in the sky in some sort of moving vehicle of some sort, it's allowed. So that's all done. So for this one, actually, we haven't done this for a while, but we've got box office lists. So our box office is from Mojo. So I love the Mojo list. That's how I prep up my lists. So yeah, it'd be really fun because box office, I think if I remember right, it has got a win in our leagues. Everyone's had a win, even if they're not a human. So I'm excited to see if box office can do it again. After Lee, that's been our last few episodes, has absolutely annihilated me and Jess in the voting. I presume a lot of it's his audience coming across, but we're just getting embarrassed. I got 0 votes in the last episode. I was like, what? I'm top of the league. So anyway, very exciting. So let's see if we can tell box office how it's done. As always, Jess, if you can kick us off with our lead list for the day that me and Jess are going to try and improve as the episode goes on. So if you could let us know how much it made as well, just for interest, because the difference between second and top spot is absurd. So let's dive in.
All right. In the number 8 spot, we have Flight Plan with 89 million. Number 7, Nonstop with 92 million. Number 6, Flight with 93 million. Number 5, The Aviator, 102 million. Number 4, Sully, 125 million. Number 3, Air Force One, 172 million. Number 2, Top Gun with 176 million. And number 1 spot with 718 million is Top Gun Maverick.
What an absolutely insane difference. 718 million. What on God's green earth's going on there? So, congratulations, Top Gun Maverick. That is incredible. And yeah, before we dive into the films in more detail, what I love about this is if you go through the list and look at all the leads, let's see if, bear with me, here we go. So we got Flight Plan, Jodie Foster, Nonstop, Liam Neeson, Flight, Denzel Washington, Aviator, Leonardo DiCaprio, Sully, Tom Hanks. Air Force One, Harrison Ford. This is incredible. And then Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise. I mean, what a stellar list. This is like an actors list, in fact. So yeah, what are your thoughts there? Just kicks off. I just saw it. I just saw it as you're reading it. So cool.
I am I am like impressed by you were able to name the lead in all those movies. As you were going through it, I was trying to like think of it before you, and you just that was killer that you did that. But yeah, no, that's a really great point too, is these are all movies with outstanding actors in them. And it's really cool. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, just solid films with one really key lead, which is that's amazing. So cool. Right, Sue, what are our thoughts generally? So, let me think. Top Gun, Air Force One. I actually really love this list. I think it's really good. It's probably one of the best box office lists I've ever seen. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I really don't have any negatives towards any of that. It is one of the best I've seen. Well, I will dive in a bit onto Flight Plan and Aviator. I just want to do a bit of detail on it, like we do for Mike on the year's ones. But what are your kind of initial thoughts on this list, Jess?
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm a little nervous in voting here because it's a solid list, and I same thing. There's not one movie where I'm like, "Rah." On that. I will say that spoiler, I guess, with the Top Guns, I kind of treated it like some of our other lists where I was like, oh, I'm not gonna put both Top Guns separately. I'll just put like the one Top Gun, that kind of thing. But it's amazing to see the difference in one and two with 176 million and Top Gun beating itself out 718 million. It's just amazing. So I'm excited though. Looking at the other lists, I think these are all solid lists, and I'm a little worried. Either you or box office are probably going to take this one home.
Yeah, I have to say I am worried about it too. But in Top Gun Maverick's defense, I suppose you got to allow for conversion rate. So tickets are much more now. So there's a bit of that. And
Mhm.
also it was, if I remember rightly, it was I can't remember how long after COVID had like finally gone because it was such a big deal to be able to go to the cinema and watch something that amazing on screen. So it got that massive boost. It's an amazing film anyway, but any films that came just after COVID just seemed to go, which was just genius releasing. Oh yeah, thanks, Jess. So 2022, 1920, yeah, because it would be big blockbuster. Because I think it was
Yeah.
Bond was delayed, wasn't it? And then that came out, and then I feel like there was something else. Anyway, that's for another show. So
Mhm.
let's just do two little storylines for two of them, just to give the list a little bit of love. It's only fair. So Aviator, which has 87% and 79% respectively on Rotten Tomatoes, which is very good. It's a billionaire and aviation tycoon. Howard Hughes, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is a successful public figure, a director of big-budget Hollywood films such as Hell's Angels, a passionate lover of Hollywood, leading ladies Katharine Hepburn and Ava Gardner, so that's Kate Blanchett and Kate Beckinsale. That's a great cast, I forgot. And an aviation pioneer who helps build TWA into a major airline. But in private, he remains tormented, suffering from paralyzing phobias and depression. The higher he rises, the farther he has to fall. Yeah, it's a really interesting film because it's got all the momentum of what they're trying to do by trying to make this airline just next levels. This whole build up to that and his genius, and also the decline. It's really interesting when films do that. You have this real peak at the same time as it's come back the other way, and I think that's really good filmmaking because whichever one you're going for, you're going to get it moving in a direction rather than get flatlining and getting, say, boring in the middle or laggy towards the end. I just think as filmmaking, it's genius like that. But I think everybody in its performance, it's so solid. It's like, I know, an in-depth blockbuster. If you know what I mean. It's not light like a typical blockbuster, but it's full of heart, I guess. Just what have you seen it, and what are your thoughts?
I have seen it. I think that's a pretty good description. I think that it is definitely one of those, I'd say probably more emotional of a fight movie than some of the other ones. I'm glad that you chose that one to read a little bit more about as well, because I think that I would say that that's one that it's not often thought of. I mean, it's number five in the box office, right? I think it when we talk about a lot of air-based movies or plane-based movies. We always have our favorite one we joke about, right? Snakes on the plane. And then usually Top Gun. Those are kind of the two movies that people talk about. So it's exciting to be able to showcase this movie as well.
Yeah, I asked around work, hey, we're doing a plane recording tomorrow. Tell me how many plane films you know. And everyone's like, Snakes on a Plane, Top Gun, like you said. And then people, loads of them did say Aviator. So it's you like you
Oh,
said, it's in their mind. Con Air came up every time, but it was really interesting to see. Yeah, Aviator came up every single time. It's really cool. But when I said Air Force One, I'm like, what's that? And I realized I was asking really young people. I was like, oh God, I'm old. Don't know what Air Force One is. Ah, right, fine. Right, let's go next one. Flight plan. So it got 37% and 48%. Seems a little bit mean on Rotten Tomatoes. I just rewatched the trailer before we jumped on. I forgot how good this film was. So airplane engineer Kyle Pratt, played by Jodie Foster, is heading home from Germany to New York on a double-decker Elgin 474 to bury her husband. But 3 hours into the flight, she awakens to find her young daughter missing. The entire flight crew, including Captain Rich, Sean Bean, and Air Marshal Gene Carson, later Skarsgård, claims that the child was never on board. Determined to find her daughter, Kyle searches for the limited space on the plane, all while trying to maintain her sanity. This film is so good and it's solid, and the whole like, why does no one believe me type thing is just so engaging. When films ever do this, it just works because it pulls you in. You're like, what the hell, man? What is going on? And I think that it's a very clever way of getting an audience on board, no pun intended. And Jodie Foster, at her height of her powers, just blew this film out of the water. She was incredible. Jess, any thoughts on A Flight Plan?
yeah, I think it's like when movies do that, I think it's almost like a psychological thriller because it makes you think like, is there this grandiose like conspiracy, or is this person just crazy? Like, where are we at on this scale? So, and I'm a huge Jodie Foster fan, so yeah, I think it's all right. Number eight, flight plan. Number seven, nonstop. Number six, flight. Number five, the aviator. Number four, Sully. Number three, Air Force One. Number two, Top Gun. And number one, Top Gun Maverick.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Awesome. Right. Let's see what me and Jess can do about this list. This is so good. I feel terrible to even mess around with it, but that is the point of our live, Jess. We have to do this. What I'm going to try and do this week, guys, to mix it up and keep it fresh, is I'm not actually going to mention my honoraries until the end. So all the films that got missed. So any films that were missed from these lists, we'll give them some love at the end. I thought that, because rather